Today, we are going to be flexing our creative muscles. We are going to be exploring how we go about creating learning personas. Learning personas, as we know, are fictional representations of your audience, and they will help you make more targeted learning interventions more meaningful, more effective, and more engaging. They are incredibly useful. So, let's get started. So first up, you're going to need to identify your target audience. Is it your entire learner base or a segment of that audience? You'll then need to conduct research to gain a deeper understanding of this audience. This can sometimes include quantitative surveys, qualitative interviews, and certainly your observation and understanding of that learner persona. During this time, you'll want to capture things like demographic information, traits and characteristics, but you'll also want to go further. You'll want to establish what you think their motivations are, their career aspirations, their goals, their learning challenges, their career challenges, and also how they like to learn. Once you've got this data, it's time to get analytical, to comb through your research and look for trends, look for patterns, look for commonalities which allow you to set your persona. So then, based on this information, you should be able to form your personas. If your target audience is relatively homogeneous, you may only need one or two personas to represent them. However, in our experience, for a large enterprise, typically you would be looking at between 5 to 6 different personas. So if you're working with a very diverse audience, you may need to make more personas in order to accurately represent their different needs. The point is, you should just seek to ensure that as soon as somebody says this persona name, it's commonly understood by the learning development department. The persona should be detailed enough to be useful, but not so detailed that the number of personas becomes overwhelming. You should include things like their age, their gender, their job title, their education level, their experience level, and information about their learning goals, their motivations, their challenges, their preferences, how they use things like social media, how they engage with people at work, what they think about their career. And then you can wrap things up by giving each persona a name and an avatar, assigning them memorable images that immediately allow you to understand who and what this persona stands for. These should be either real or representative, so that they are easily understood by the rest of the learning and development department. So let's look at some common mistakes that can be made when looking at building learning personas. So whilst you're creating personas, you should try and rely on data rather than assumptions or stereotypes. You also shouldn't get overly distracted by demographic information at the expense of psychological or behavioural data. The other thing that's very important is really understanding the specific role that they're doing and how those individuals think and feel about their career and their skills gap within your organisation. Each persona must be distinct. If it's not distinct, you will struggle to identify specific learning and development initiatives that are relevant for that persona. If there's too much overlapping or too much similarity, it will cause confusion when you start talking about your tactics and strategy for that learning persona. Another common mistake that we see is the lack of refinement of the learning personas over time. Your audience will change, and so as a result, your personas should too. So be mindful, check back into your personas on a regular basis in order to make sure that they are relevant. So in summary, there you have it. Creating learner personas requires getting to know your audience and really considering what their needs, their goals, and their motivations are in order to create really creative and engaging learning campaigns. This serves as a clear purpose, and it really will help you to create learning experiences that are more exciting, more engaging, and ultimately deliver a lot better return on investment for your organisation. And it happens to be a lot of fun too.